Harry Davies from Air Fighting. I'm joined by Solomon Dacres ahead of a big fight week in Saudi Arabia. Solomon's been a big part of it. So, firstly, Solomon, for those who don't know, can you just introduce yourself as a boxer and the sort of role that you've had in this big heavyweight fight going on this Saturday in Riyadh?
Yeah, I'm pro, 7-0 heavyweight English champion. And I've been sparring Tyson Fury for this fight and his previous fight as well. So, I'm a regular sparring partner for Fury.
Mm. Talk to me a bit about, again, you said this fight and the last fight. So, how have the sort of differences been between the last one? Because it's been 10 months since the Chisora trilogy. So
Yeah.
what sort of changes have you seen with Tyson? And but before that, how did this sort of come around? Did you get introduced for him for a friend, or how did the sparring go around?
Yeah. Um, well, firstly, how I got into sparring with him was that before that Chisora fight, he was sparring Jermaine Franklin, who was getting ready for the Joshua fight. And I actually got a message off Franklin's team to come up and spar Franklin in Morecambe. So I actually went up to spar Franklin, and obviously Fury was there. They were sparring. I had my head guard on, and I jumped in the ring as well. And I said, "I want to do some rounds with you as well." Sugar Hill said, "I know you're not the star of Chisora. We working with Franklin." So I was like, "Come on, man! I want to get some rounds with the champ." Um, didn't that day. Next day, they was in the gym, saw me spar Franklin, and they saw how good I was. And Tyson was saying on the side, "I want Solomon Dacres back here next week." He's as simple as that. He goes, "I want him back here next week. Get him back in." And then from there, I come back in the next week to spar Tyson, and I've been sparring him since then.
Wow. So with this, obviously you're sort of didn't expect to be involved in that one, but you got in it for the reason you said. But for
Right,
this one
yeah.
with Ngannou, do you think it was more like he was impressed with what you saw the first time, or is there a style maybe similar with Francis?
Yeah, I think he just said, the level of quality of work I'm giving him is just sharp and he's world class. He said himself, he said it's really good. After that, sparring with him for the Chisora fight, obviously Joe Parker trains in the gym. He recommended to Parker that he gets me into train. So went to spar Joe Parker for his next fight after that as well, because he spoke highly of me. And yeah, he's got me back again. He just knows that I'll bring sharpness and great work.
Hmm. If you had to go to the toughest sparring session you've had with Fury and describe it to me, how would you describe it?
Don't know how can you describe him in the ring? He's very good. Obviously, he's big, he's awkward. One of the things that, the first few spars was the reach. You think you're out of range, which you are with, nine out of 10, 10 out of 10 other people, apart from him. And, left hooks coming from behind your head, it feels like, his arms are that long. So, the reach, is very hard to hit when he wants to hit a move, it's very hard to hit.
Again, the big question going into this Saturday is obviously Francis is backed himself to win, even on points. You think he can win, but what has this sort of conversations been like in camp with Francis's style? Because a lot of people have said fighting a novice boxer like him, it can sometimes pose more problems than you think, right?
Yeah, it can with them novices because sometimes they're unpredictable. They don't do what traditional boxers will do. It might come from all funny angles. You've got to be careful. But to be honest, I haven't seen too much focus specifically on him. It's just been about really Fury just getting the best out of himself. He's just training and sparring to just be the best of him, really. And I think obviously that will be more than enough for whoever's against him.
How do you? I know I asked the sessions between you, but given what it was 10 months ago that you sort of were involved in the Chisora camp, and now you've been heavily involved in this one, what's the sort of main differences you've seen with Tyson, or is he always the same? He's always like knuckled down and focused in camp, and how is this one compared to the camp last December?
Yeah, he's just, there's nothing changed in terms of he's just working hard, sparring hard, getting plenty of rounds in. Boxing, he's training as if, this is the best boxer in the division he's facing. He's training hard, just as hard as he would for anyone else. The sparring, there's no cutting corners. We're out running the miles, doing the hard sparring, getting the rounds on the bags. He's not missing no rounds, not skipping no rounds or anything, not cutting any corners. He's, preparing very diligently for this one.
Is there a worry that this might be, a farcical sort of mismatch? Is there a worry that Fury goes out there and stops him inside one or two rounds, or do you think you know, with the problems that Ngannou can pose? Do you think it will go a bit longer than that? How do you actually see this one going?
I think it's one-sided, to be honest. It just depends how Ngannou comes out. If he tries to be a little bit defensive, maybe he might get himself through a few rounds and might take a round or two to figure out, the awkwardness, the novice style, because who knows what his style is going to be. But to be honest, it's going to be a one-sided affair, I think. To be honest.
Mm. A lot of people were saying it's sort of foolish not to give him a bit more than a puncher's chance just because of, his power. But is that all you give him, a puncher's chance?
Yeah, that's all I can give him. There's no more chance. He's got no boxing experience, so you can't really give him more than just a puncher's chance. You know, he's not going to be any better boxer than anyone he's ever faced before. Um, he's got the hope and ambition, but how long's he been boxing? 6 months or something. I know he's done a bit of sparring before and that, but he's not really a boxer, is he?
Mm. Drawing the comparisons between the only other really high profile crossover fight with McGregor and Mayweather, would you give Francis maybe more chances than Conor, but just because Fury's been down before, he's been dropped by big punches. Obviously, he's always got up and won. But would you give Francis more chance than maybe people were giving Conor against Floyd or not?
Yeah. The only reason you'd say it is because it's a heavyweight. That's it. And heavyweights, people think you get hit by a heavyweight, you can get knocked out. That's the only difference. Boxing wise, McGregor has probably done a bit more boxing background than Ngannou. Obviously Floyd's the best ever. I weren't never going to trouble him, but it's just because it's a heavyweight, really, and the punch power. But I don't think. Look at Deontay Wilder. He's the biggest puncher in boxing. He's nailed him clean. He's got back right back up, and I can't see him being nailed clean, to be honest.
I'd be silly not to touch on, the next one maybe for Fury, because you could be back in the camp for him, helping him out pretty soon, right? If things go to plan and he does make that December 23rd date, how do you see that one going? I'm guessing you'll be involved in the camp again just because of the sparring you've gave Fury, and you'll probably
Yeah.
want that quick turnaround to hope that happens before Christmas.
Yeah, potentially, but obviously I'm an orthodox. So Usyk's a southpaw, so we will want to get the southpaws in. We might want to get some early work and me to sharpen up, and then switch to the southpaws. That's a big fight, a big clash. That's the real test, I think. I think, all things level. Fury's got that boxing IQ. Usyk's got the amazing IQ as well, boxing skill wise and that. But I just think Fury with the extra size, power, that should make the difference, I think.
And just going on to yourself, obviously this is what, sort of all heavyweight card. Did you want to get in on the action too? I know there's some other plans for you, which I'll go on to in a minute, but you're sort of probably a bit like, oh, I wish I was in on this one as well, right?
Yeah, it would have been great if I could have gotten the card for this, but obviously, it's full up. I was with a different promoter, Matchroom, so I weren't going to get on the card. But I would have been ready to go, man. I've done plenty of sparring. It would have been a great experience. But I'm just here in the flesh, but not in the ring.
Mm. And obviously everyone's focused on the main event, but one that you will probably have more eyes on is the one with Wardley and Adelaide, because I'm guessing I'm hearing stuff that you could be hopefully next in line. That's probably what you want, right?
Yeah, that's a great reason why I'm here as well. I got my eyes on that, and whoever wins that, that's what I want. I want the winner of that fight. British title, something I believe I'm very, very capable of getting. Whoever wins that, I believe I can jump in next and take that myself. So I'm here. I'm here for that.
Is that a 50-50 one, or are you more like what way are you going on that fight?
Um, I, what? I was leaning towards Wardley, to be honest, but 50, maybe 60-40. I think Wardley edges it, but I think someone will probably get knocked out though. And you never know. Like Wardley's been hurt a couple of times, and then he's come back and then finish the other guy. So it could go like that, or you know who's going to go first? Who's going to stay? I think it's going to be who will recover from taking the shots the best, because I think they're both going to connect with each other.
Who do you think's the more problematic matchup for you out of those two?
I don't think neither of them are problematic for me really. No, my boxing skill set I think is levels above them, defensively and offensively. So don't really know, to be honest.
Mm. If things, obviously, what we're in October now, I think you've been out twice this year. Are you hoping to get out maybe once more, or looking at maybe the new
Yeah.
year?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get out before Christmas. You know, that'll be the goal. That's something I'm hoping to get. So stay tuned. Hopefully, there's something coming for me in the pipeline soon.
And finally, just obviously, what if you're a betting man and Saturday night comes and all the ring walks have happened? How early do you think it gets done for Tyson? Because obviously you're backing him, but if you had to make an official prediction, what round do you think he gets it done in?
Uh, I don't like giving predictions, but I think within four rounds. It depends if he wants to stretch it out. I think 4 or 5 round job